This past vote, I felt more comfortable because I felt unanimously who we were voting, and obviously it played out that way. I'm trying to play more middle of the road right now. I'm not trying to make waves. I feel like the people who are making waves might come back to haunt them.
So I think last time we were playing too much, or at least I was, to the alliances, and I think we need to focus on winning first so that we don't have to go back to tribal council. I'm just hoping my partner doesn't get eliminated, and hopefully my what I think is my alliance's partners don't get eliminated either.
I don't know. I think it's hard to draw the lines. I think I still feel pretty close with Shantelle, and I felt pretty close with Sam, but I'm sort of have second guesses on that. Specifically, he wants to target me. I feel pretty good with Louis as well. But here's the thing with me. I think I'm not playing a very clean game, and having too many conversations with people and having too many promises, like 100% I'll work with you, and I think I need to clean that shit up. I need to clean that up.
People of color, and I'm on board with that. I think it depends on how we do with the challenges and stuff.
And I think if people are targeting me, then I do have options. The person I don't trust, the person I trust the least right now is Josh. He just seems like a cagey kind of character. We haven't really talked about any kind of promises or what strategy is. He strikes me as someone who likes to have trust first before he gives trust, which I don't like.
So we decided as a group that we're going to try to find the idol.
I was looking. Did you guys find it?
No, they tried the hut. We didn't find it.
Digging.
I'm thinking it must be something like obvious, right in our face.
Where did you check? I was just on the playground.
There's, I guess, the beginnings of relationships starting to form. I think that just because we've been sort of put in a group together, all together, it's been a little bit harder for that to happen.
Could it be?
I get along really well with Shantelle. I think she's really cool. We were partnered on the last challenge, and I think we worked well together. She's the only one I've worked with, but I don't know if I distrust Sam, but I'm just curious around him because he's a lot more stoic, I guess, than a lot of the team. So, which I think is kind of funny to say because I'm also not the most outwardly expressive person, but I just find it easier to trust people who are like that. So Sam's more cool and calm-headed. So I guess maybe it's distrust, but at this point I'm classifying it more as just caution because I don't really know what to expect. I don't want to have these high expectations either way.
All right, let's now bring in the members of Yada Hala who are remaining. Caleb voted out at the last tribal council. How do you feel about that, Sandy? Your son is gone.
I think it sucks.
How are you going to survive without him? Okay. You think you could go the distance still?
I think I can.
All right, let's prove it. Let's see.
Purple.
All right, let's do it. Things have been pretty easy so far, so I thought for this round it's time to shake things up. Both tribes are going to be going to tribal council. The two people will be voted out of this game, one person from each tribe. When we get to the tribal, you guys are going to be competing in a reward. The tribe that wins this reward, they will get to compete for individual immunity for themselves. They will go to tribal council first. They will vote someone out. They will stay behind and get to watch the opposing tribe's tribal council as well. Wow. In this challenge, you guys are going to be facing off in a ski race. You will have two identical boards that will be strapped with ropes that you will put your feet into. And you will use the ropes to maneuver yourselves around a tree. Once you get up to the tree, the other tribe members are going to race back. Everyone understands? Everyone ready? Survivors ready?
Yes.
Go!
Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right.
All right, Anita falls down.
Ready, set, go. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left.
Charles fall down.
Left. Right. Left.
Anita in the lead.
Left. Right. Left. Right. 1, 2, 3. Left, right, left, right, left, right,
Yoda Hala heading back first. Onita heading back. Onita catching up to Yoda Hala now. Onita falling behind. Yoda Hala wins reward. Alright guys, welcome to your individual immunity challenge. What we're going to be doing is one at a time you're going to come up to the line and you're going to throw the ball to the immunity idol. The person at the end of all the throws that is closest to the immunity idol will win individual immunity at this next tribal council. So we're going to start with Emily. Take your first throw. All right, Emily tosses a little short. Charles is up. All right, Charles throws a little bit harder, getting a little bit closer. Mark, you're up. Wow, Mark is really close. Pete, just short. Sarah, your turn. Sarah came really close. Katie up. Mark is in the lead. Hong, just short. Eddie's up. Just short again. All right, this is the final round. Emily, you're up. Emily is out of this challenge. Charles. Charles out of this challenge. Mark, can you extend your lead? You can. Mark went further into the lead. Come on, Pete. Oh. Pete is out. Sarah, you're up. Sarah's out. Katie, your turn. Super close. Katie just misses by like 2 inches. Hong, you're out. Eddie comes down to this. Oh, just misses. Mark wins individual immunity.
Really terrible to know that, like, with this tight tribe that we had made, that someone was going to beat that one. I just like, have no idea what the other team is like been doing all day.
You gotta give us a down. Yeah, they have a mark there. Yeah, whatever.
I don't think I needed it tonight, but I'm glad I got it. I'm also a little bit scared because it puts a little bit of target on my back, and also I'll be getting intel from the other tribe. So when I come back, I'm kind of scared that people might want to vote me out. Who I want, I think it would be Pete, Charles, and Sarah, which is half my line, so I need to see the other half. But I think we can also bring in Emily. Eddie, he looked at me weird, so I'm scared he's gonna come for me at one point now that I won this. So maybe I have to go for him at some point. When I vote people out, I think about who their loved one is and if I can work with them. So I think Caleb and, no, just Caleb, I don't think I have a shot with his mom.
I mean, we lost 2 challenges prior to that, so going into the challenge, we just wanted to win. We wanted the advantage, we wanted the reward. It sucks that the challenge we come back for and that we win turns into us losing someone still, but it's better for our morale that we actually got the win under our belts and are coming together as a team.
You don't think anything? Are you dreaming anything?
I don't know, though. This is a hard one. I think I might be next, and I'm really nervous. I mean, I've talked to people about an alliance, but I think we just all get along together so well. I don't feel like I'm like firmly part of something. There were 5 of us, but then it's like, oh, we all had connections with the other 3 people. So it felt like it was all of it, and it just happened to be who was standing where. It didn't, with how quick it's been, it wasn't like a strong bond. It was more just circumstances. I would say Vaughn. I just think that if we go back to any sort of partner thing, I think her brother is stronger than her. And that's kind of the thing that I've been trying to say is maybe we think about the partners and who could beat their pair if it does go back to that.
I'm gonna walk this way. I feel like Pete's definitely like our patriarch right now. Like, I mean, I think it's between him and Eddie for like the 2 kind of like the leads in forming this alliance, and then like between us and then Charles, Sarah, and I think Emily and Mark are probably like more on the they're close to it, but they're like not 100% in. I really don't think that Mark necessarily needed to gain that immunity today. I don't think that he was gonna be brought up for this round at all. So I think it was kind of unnecessary for him, but I mean, it's definitely a better feeling going in if you have that immunity right there. So I think he's gonna be pretty straightforward about what happened, unless it's something that could hurt him or Louie later on. So I think I could definitely see him sticking up. If like Louie has some issues, he'll definitely kind of keep that to himself. I'm not worried about Avanti. I don't think that she's the weakest link in any way. I mean, I know she was tripping up a little bit at that last challenge, but she was definitely not the only one that tripped on that challenge. So I don't think that her name's gonna be on the chopping block quite yet.
I think the loved one thing is interesting because you have 2 people over there whose loved ones are out of the game. So I wonder if that'll come into play at all.
Yeah, so it was good. Our team really powered down the front line, and then it was me and the 2 other girls had to go backwards. And first I took some deep strides that they weren't a fan of, but we communicated well. They let me know that their legs were a little shorter, and we took smaller strides, and we powered through 1 by mile, so that was great. So I can confidently say that I've been on the right side of the numbers, and at this point it's just more of like throwing a dart on a dartboard to figure out who's going to send home, and we all are in agreement on that right now. So Inessa definitely struggled in the challenge today a little bit, especially because she took the front line on those skis, and I knew that's something that she would do coming in here anyway. So I'm a little worried about her, but I think she'll be fine. I think she's very good at taking the blame on someone else, or putting the blame on someone else. Yeah, so right now it's me and the 3 other guys, and then Katie. We're trying to just get that alliance forming. And so at this point, we are the core, and we had large numbers in the last vote just because our core was the one swaying the vote, and all the exteriors are kind of easily manipulated, and they kind of just vote where we vote just so they don't get eliminated.
Oh, they did their best. That's a tough challenge. That's the reason why I set out, because I knew, as top heavy as I am, I wasn't going to be able to do that very well.
Obviously super surprised, which I'm sure is what they were going for. I don't think it affected at all how I played or how the rest of the team played, but I do think there's like an added layer of you know, we were feeling so high and great the whole day, and then we lost already knowing we had to go to tribal afterwards. So I think there's a lot of depth to that we're trying to figure out. It's kind of like we're running around with chickens with our heads cut off right now, because it was just like, you know, surprise from the get-go, even before the whole challenge started, which is a mind game, obviously. We were just kind of figuring out what to do. I've actually just done this challenge before, obviously not in this context, but like I was familiar with how to do it and everything. It was a little bit different, but I figured my familiarity would help more than like someone doing it for the first time. So that's how I ended up there.
I think the reward was worth it though, playing to get possibly individual immunity and then observe the other tribal council. That was a fun twist. I think we're all eager to vote someone out, in all honesty, because there's a lot of tension. Even though we've been getting along, like people are afraid to be the one that's popping up and putting the name out there.
Okay, so when Chris said that we were both going to go to tribal council, my heart like fell into my ass, because our tribe has been doing so well as a unit that the idea of losing a member is gonna be the beginning of hell, because from the conversations I've been hearing, it looks like this can fall a few different ways based off of what the unit thinks is the right move. Avanti was falling all over the place. I mean, she looked like a newborn giraffe. It was kind of a mess. And she had said that she had done that before at a party, so we felt pretty confident throwing her in, but I mean, I'm sure it's way more difficult than it seems. Maybe targeting Avanti. I think Avanti's a good double option here. I'm finding myself in both groups, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I think if I can get both sides, if those two groups are still existing, to agree on Avanti, that could possibly be the vote tonight. But everyone's not wanting to throw a name around, because the person who throws the name around gets sent home. I'm also nervous about going to tribal because I have the clue that says where the hidden immunity idol is, and I don't know if it's the right time to go grab it, because that will put a giant target on my back, unless I can find a moment to sneakily grab it, but with a member of the other tribe that's sitting in, I don't know if it's going to be the right time to do that.
The names that I've heard are Avanti, Louis, and Sandy. Those are the three names that pop up.
It could be me. I don't know. We all have a nice chemistry, and we all have different strengths, and I feel like we're all pretty good competitors, so I don't really have a feel for who might be first.
We've won the first two, so we knew it was going to happen eventually. I think I've got a pretty tight alliance. Myself, Boy, Gary, Anissa, Susan, and Sandy.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of different names being thrown out. I know there's been talk of like different sort of alliances just to get people going, but I know Sandy and Susan just because they're moms, and especially because, not even really that actually at all, it's just that Sandy recently just lost her loved one. So, you know, we're thinking that might be something that affects not necessarily how willing they are to play, but just like, you know, who will they feel their allegiance to?
I think Avanti could go, or possibly Louis even, if there's enough traction on getting him out. So it's just a scramble, to be honest. I think people are gamers. They're trying not to put their allegiance so firmly out in the open, but I think some people are not doing as good a job at that as others.
I've heard Louis' name from 2 or 3 people, but that's not a definite.
This is going to be interesting. We're going to have a yellow interloper in our tribal. You know, I don't think I like that very much, but I think that's also the idea. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, especially since they're on the high of finally winning for the first time.
Alright, so let's talk about the last tribal council, Pete. What were your thoughts on that vote?
Well, I think we were together on that vote, and that we needed that vote to show unity, to show that we were working together. I mean, none of us wanted to make a vote, but that, I think, was the right vote at that time.
And do you think this tribal council will follow the same way?
I think it will.
Charles, the fact that the 4 girls sitting in the front, and the guys in the back, and there's 4 girls, 4 guys, put anything in your mind that maybe there's, you know, girls thing, maybe there's an all guys thing. Has that ever been talked about amongst you guys?
I mean, I feel like there's always the potential for that because it's been split pretty evenly going forward, or like in the past. But I've also noticed everyone talking to everybody, so it's kind of hard to tell what that alliance is, if it is sex for sex, or if there's a little bit more of like, you know, mixing up inside of it.
So Sarah, you guys finally won a challenge. What was that moment like for you guys? Because you really demolished them.
I think we absolutely needed that just for like a good morale punch. And as we were just talking about, we're happy we knew that we were going here anyway, that we didn't have to learn that after our victory. But yeah, I think we definitely needed that as a team.
So Mark, you won immunity. The only person here who can say that so far. How does that feel, and how does that weigh into the power, the fact that you get to watch the next tribe's tribal council?
I could do a good job of listening and bringing back a lot of information that can help us if we have a swap coming up soon.
How are you basing your vote this tribal council?
A tough one. But yeah, I think based on the strength of the team.
And what other way is it tough for you besides just the strength of the team? Is there any other?
Well, they're all great people here. Yeah, and we didn't want to come back a third time.
Katie, how do you move forward as a tribe? Because, you know, you guys had to vote out 2 people, now a third person.
I think this is just going to make us stronger. And I know it stinks that we had to get rid of so many people, and especially we don't have a lot to go off of to get rid of them so soon. So that kind of stinks. But I mean, now I feel like we have a good team going. I feel like we have a good flow going, like we saw in the last council, that we had a unanimous vote. So I think that really helped with our unity. So I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to be a stronger team because of it.
Emily, have you guys talked about advantages, idols, anything in that sort of nature so far?
My mind personally has been on all these tribal councils we've had to been to, where of course idols could come into play, but I'm just like a totally ball of nerves every time we get here and not thinking about it a lot. I have seen people sprint off in directions when they think they see like a piece of paper or something, which is funny, but I literally like just thought about it like a couple of minutes ago. I was like, oh wait, that's the thing too.
And before we go to vote, does anyone have anything that they would like to say in front of the tribe, potentially to sway them? No? Alright, so we're going to start the voting.
I'd like to apologize way in advance about spelling.
One has the hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now would be the time to do so. Alright, I will read the votes. First vote, Hong. Second vote, Hong. Third vote, Katie. That's 2 votes Hong, 1 vote Katie. Hong. Hong. That's 4 votes Hong, 1 vote Katie. 6th vote, and the third person voted out, Survivor New York, Season 3, Blood vs. Water. Hong. Hong, you're gonna need to bring me the torch. Hong. It's time for you to go.
Thank you. Have fun, guys.
Okay, another unified vote. Let's see what that brings. It definitely brought something last round. You guys won the challenge. So let's see what can happen. But we have some more unfinished business because Mark is going to stay behind and he's going to get some very valuable information in this game. And he has a job to do. Right, so you guys can head out, but Mark, you can stay behind.
Give us all the dirt.
Good luck, Mark.
It was fun. I came into this as a huge favor for my brother. He's a big fan, and I think seeing how people are playing and how much fun they're having, like I got sucked into it for a little bit too. I actually tried, and I would definitely recommend this.
Well, this is your first tribal council, first, so I feel like nice to meet all of you. Because I haven't got to talk to you literally all game. I've talked so much game with the other tribe. And speaking of the other tribe, we have Mark here, who's going to sit in and listen to all the questions, possible fights, talks, and then he's going to make a decision, and then he's going to be on his way out before you guys vote. Shantelle, you won a very important reward, which basically helped you guys win the first immunity challenge. So how does that make you feel?
I mean, I'm really glad that I could use it for the tribe. That was an option, and that it gave us the foot forward that we needed, because I think that it really helped us boost our morale, and like it helped us kind of come together as a team. So I'm really glad I used it in the way that I did.
Did it ever cross your mind to just give you and Serena immunity looking back? Because right now she's gone and you're still here.
It never crossed my mind, just because I know that it was the first challenge, it was the first reward, and I don't think that would have been a smart move to play, and I think that she would have done the same thing too. So I stand by my decision.
Josh, what is making this tribe so cohesive? You guys have won a lot. Just this last one was the only stumble so far. So what's the connecting factor that brings you guys together?
Well, I think it's both personalities. Everyone's just very cheery and happy to be here and like supportive of each other, and then just communicating. Everyone, like for every challenge that we won, we had a strategy and we talked it out in depth before the challenge started.
Okay, so Susan, how do you feel about your position in the game? Because you've gone pretty far feeling safe, and this is the very first tribal council. So how are your nerves going?
Well, I won't lie, I'm nervous. I'm definitely nervous. This is by far the hardest part of the whole game, because the challenges have been super fun, and we are very cohesive. We have really planned our strategy, and it's worked for us well. But you never know. You never know if you're safe, because you don't know about other people's alliances. I feel pretty confident, but there's that in the back of my mind wondering, is it my time?
Like I said, you haven't been to tribal council with Gary, so is it going to be based on alliances, or are you going to base it off of challenges?
I think it's going to be a mixture of both. I think it's going to be a mixture of who you gel with, who you feel like, because we have been talking about this cohesive unit, right? But at the same time, I feel as though there are not fractures within the cohesive unit, but at the same time, there are pieces that don't fit the puzzle completely. So I think that tonight's vote is going to basically show where one of those puzzle pieces don't fit, so that way we can ensure that we continue to win moving forward.
So you mentioned the word fracture. Avanti, hearing that word, does that like bring any alarms to you? Does that make you feel like that's a good thing or a bad thing in this game, that there's actually a fracture, when you guys just told me that you're a cohesive, democratic group?
So I guess I'm not really stressed about that, just because, I mean, yes, I'm sure there's alliances going on, and we're going to base it both on that as well as the challenges we've gone through. But yeah, I don't think I could like definitively and confidently say that. There's definitely splits in the group, and that's how votes are going to go. I think it's going to be, you know, based on who we kind of gel with more, which is just a natural thing when you're interacting in a group like this. And then also, yeah, how everyone's been doing. So I'm not worried. Full stop.
Really, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel it's difficult because today's vote is kind of gonna draw lines in the sand because since we haven't voted yet, we don't know where anybody sits. I think the group mind is let's keep our team working together as best as we can because we've been working so well together. And it depends on what people value in strength. What keeps the tribe strong? Is it somebody social? Is it somebody who might be a little more physical? Is it somebody who's good at puzzles? I don't know.
Okay, before we get to the vote, Mark, you're gonna have a very important decision. And that is, you are going to vote first. And you are going to vote for the person you would like to give immunity. But here's the deal. We are gonna have them vote right after you. We're gonna read the votes, and then we're gonna read his vote after. If his person got the highest total number of votes, they will become immune, just like a normal hidden immunity idol. And the person with the second highest amount of votes will be going home. So throw that into your mind. Who would he choose? Why would he choose it?
All right, so Mark, we're gonna start with you.
She wasn't giving too much at tribal council. She looked very worried.
All right, Mark, your time here is done. You can head back with your other tribe. I'll see you at the next challenge. All right, guys, if anyone has the hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now would be the time to do so. Okay, I will read the votes. First vote, Avanti. Second vote, Sandy. That's one vote Avanti, one vote Sandy. Third vote, Avanti. Fourth vote, Avanti. That's 3 votes Avanti, 1 vote Sandy. Avanti. That's 4 votes Avanti, 1 vote Sandy. Avanti. That's 5 votes Avanti, 1 vote Sandy. Next vote, and the potential next person voted out of this game is Avanti. But before I snuff your torch, I will read the 1 vote that Mark casts. If it is for Avanti, then Sandy will be going home. The person that Mark gave immunity to was Shantelle. So Avanti, you are the official 4th person voted out of this game.
Wow, what a struggle.
Avanti,
What?
the tribe has spoken. Well, you guys talked about team unity, and that was another proof of that, I feel like. You guys were very unified in this vote. Let's see if that keeps up, or if those fractures we talked about may set in. Okay, you guys can head out. Next time on Survivor New York. You guys have fought long and hard against your loved ones, but that is no longer going to be the case. Everybody drop your buffs because we're switching tribes.
I'm not incredibly surprised,
not the greatest feeling. Probably could have opened up more, tried to learn a little bit more about everybody, get to know them. I think just I was looking to get a different thing out of it than everyone else was, and that's totally fair. If they're more serious about it, then like, yes, I hope they would. I think it was great that I experienced it, and I am so happy I got to meet all these new people.